Why do some people with average intelligence become wealthy, while some of the smartest people you know stay broke? Think about it. You probably know someone who gets straight A's, reads constantly, understands complex ideas, and seems smarter than everyone else in the room. Yet somehow, they're still struggling financially. Meanwhile, another person who wasn't the smartest student is building businesses, investing, and creating wealth. How does that happen? Because intelligence and wealth are not the same thing. In fact, some of the habits that make people smart can quietly keep them poor. And by the end of this video, you'll understand the biggest mistake intelligent people make with money, a mistake that could cost decades of financial progress. Most people assume knowledge automatically creates wealth. It doesn't. If it did, every professor would be a millionaire. Every financial expert would be rich. Every genius would be financially free. But that's not reality, because wealth rewards action more than intelligence. And this is where many smart people get trapped. They become addicted to learning. They read another book, watch another video, take another course, research another strategy, and convince themselves they're making progress. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. Imagine someone spending 3 years researching how to swim. They study every technique, every breathing method, every stroke. They know everything about swimming, but they never enter the water. That's exactly what many intelligent people do with money. They prepare endlessly, but never move. And here's the scary part. The longer they wait, the more they convince themselves they're being responsible, but they're actually delaying their future. Now, before we continue, quick question. Have you ever spent 2 hours researching a purchase worth $20, then somehow made a 5-minute decision about your career? You're not alone. But this leads directly to the second reason smart people stay poor. They overthink everything. Average people often fail because they act too quickly. Smart people often fail because they act too slowly. They analyze every possible outcome, every possible risk, every possible mistake, and eventually they become trapped by their own intelligence. This is called analysis paralysis. The more options they see, the harder it becomes to choose one. Meanwhile, someone less informed simply starts, and while the smart person is still evaluating possibilities, the other person is gaining experience, making mistakes, learning, improving, and moving forward. Because the market doesn't reward perfect decisions, it rewards executed decisions. Now here's where things become interesting, because the next reason is even more dangerous. Many intelligent people believe they can outsmart the system. They think they need the perfect investment, the perfect business idea, the perfect opportunity, the perfect timing. But wealth is rarely built through perfection. It's built through consistency. The average investor who invests every month for years often beats the genius who's waiting for the perfect opportunity. The average entrepreneur who starts today often beats the genius who spends years planning. Because execution compounds, while perfection delays. And every year spent waiting is a year lost forever. Think about that. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. And time is the one asset even billionaires cannot buy back. This is where fear quietly enters the picture, because beneath all the intelligence, many smart people are terrified of failure, not because failure hurts more, but because they've built their identity around being right. Since childhood, they've been rewarded for having correct answers, for being intelligent, for being the person who knows. But wealth requires something completely different. It requires being willing to look foolish, to make mistakes, to fail publicly, to learn through experience. And that's uncomfortable. So instead of risking failure, many intelligent people stay in preparation mode forever. It feels safe, but safety has a hidden cost. Years pass, opportunities disappear, and eventually they wake up wondering why they're not where they expected to be. But here's the good news. Intelligence isn't the problem. The way it's being used is. The smartest wealthy people understand something most people don't. Knowledge is only valuable when combined with action. Learning matters, but implementation matters more. Planning matters, but execution matters more. Information matters, but behavior matters most. The goal isn't to know everything. The goal is to know enough to take the next step, then learn from experience, then take another step and another. Because wealth is not built by having all the answers. It's built by moving forward despite uncertainty. The people who become wealthy aren't always the smartest. They're often the people willing to act before they feel completely ready, the people willing to be beginners, the people willing to fail, the people willing to learn by doing. And that's what separates financial success from financial frustration. So, if you're intelligent, here's the challenge. Stop asking yourself what else you need to learn. Start asking yourself what you already know that you're not acting on, because that answer might completely change your future. And if you're wondering why one financial milestone completely changes the way people think, save, and build wealth, watch the video on your screen right now. Why your first $10,000 changes everything. It explains why reaching that first 5 figures isn't just about money. It's about changing the way you make decisions for the rest of your life. Click the video on your screen and I'll see you there.